Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me today. It's Allan Laboucan from the Rocks and Stocks News website. I've got a special report today on gold. I've got some chat about the gold price, and it's recently made a important double bottom. Earlier this year, it hit over $2,000 an ounce, sort of on the cusp of the Federal Reserve starting to raise interest rates. It consolidated down recently, even though it's performing very well compared to other assets this year. It made an important double bottom recently, and I think that the trend is going to get a lot more bullish. And during that time, the gold stocks have gotten extremely cheap. And I have a group that I'm going to talk about today. Before I start talking about them, I wanted to also mention that I really think that the Federal Reserve is playing with fire here. They've raised interest rates to fight inflation that's gone out of control, not just in the US, but worldwide. And I don't think that that's going to stop anytime soon. The elements that have caused the inflation to go up are still firmly intact, despite the Federal Reserve raising interest rates. And I think that what they've done is they've kind of put themselves in a position where they're, forcing the economy into a recession. And I think in a recession that I think the end of the interest rate increases that have been supportive of the U.S. dollar are going to start to change course. Gold, I think, is kind of indicating that the next big moves are going to be for more rate decreases. They talked about their reducing the balance sheet. That's already ended, which I think is a precursor to the next quantitative easing. The debt situation is going to exacerbate the problems with the slowing economy that they're trying to maneuver. And again, I think that more QE is coming in gold, and the actions that they haven't been able to reduce their balance sheet are going to conspire against them to have them later this year talking about quantitative easing and lowering interest rates, which I think will be very bullish for gold. So today I wanted to talk briefly about a group of companies that I think are extremely well positioned to perform exceptionally well with stronger gold. I've kind of broken them down into two buckets. I've got my explorers that I think are home runs in the making, kind of swing for the fences kind of plays. And then I've got a group that I call my home runs in progress. And so we're going to start with the explorers. One of those explorers I wanted to talk about, I recently did some interviews with them, is Timberline. Timberline is drilling right now in a really hot place in Nevada. They've got all the geological indicators based on their geology and their drilling that they're onto something big in an area that is getting very exciting due to a discovery of one of the companies in my home run in progress that I'm going to talk about. And I think this is going to shine a lot of light on the Eureka trend of Nevada. And so I'm very optimistic about Timberline. Their stock symbol is TBR, and that's one to look at. Another company that's in this same area of the Eureka trend that's getting very hot is Paycore. CORE is their stock symbol. They have drilled into what looks like a near surface important oxide discovery, and deeper they have a high grade underground target. This company, I think, is very well positioned. They're really an unknown name amongst a lot of investors because they only started trading a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago, but they have a very strong share structure. They've got good drill results. They're in a hot spot in Nevada, and I like their potential to go a lot higher. speaking of high gold. High gold is up in Alaska, and they're getting ready to drill quite aggressively on their project, where they made a very eye-opening discovery last year that they're now going to get back into, and they got a lot more understanding of the gold mineralization and where to look for more of that extreme high grade. They hit it over thick intersections, and they've also got a resource, other targets on the property. This company is about to start a very strong news flow, and I like the potential for high gold to go much higher. Also down in that area where Timberline, HIGH is a high gold symbol. Down in that area of Eureka that's getting very hot is where Timberline, Paycore. There's also a company called Golden Lake Minerals that I'm very excited about. They're a sub $10 million valuation company. They're right in the heart of this Eureka emerging trend of good news coming from there's 4 companies that I'm following that are in this trend. And Golden Lake is the smallest of them, but they've also hit very good intersections in past drilling. They have more news pending. I hope to see some good news out of them in the near term that can drive them up to a much better valuation. GLM is their stock symbol. Up in northern British Columbia, in a place called the Golden Triangle, is a company called P2 Gold. It's run by the same guys that helped find and build the mine that Pretium was ultimately bought out for. So these guys know this area extremely well. It ain't their first rodeo in that area. They have a lot of experience as mine builders and mine finders. And their new drilling that's coming up soon in the Golden Triangle, it looks to have the potential to deliver a lot of great news. They've learned a lot from their drilling last year. That's going to help the predictability for their drilling this year. And I'm very optimistic about their news flow from drilling. So take a look at P2 Gold. Their stock symbol is PGLD. Over in Newfoundland, I follow quite a few companies, and Sokoman Minerals. Sokoman has their Moosehead project, where they've been hitting a lot of high-grade gold. But in addition to that, they have another gold project that they're drilling now, and they have a lithium project out there. This combination puts them in a very unique position. I think they're very undervalued, and with the current drilling, the drilling at their Moosehead, they're drilling at their other gold project and their lithium project, I think they're going to be delivering a lot of great news in the coming months, and starting any time now. Sokoman's symbol is SIC. Next up, I got 2 companies in Mexico. XGC, Hali Gold, their symbol is XGC, their name is Hali Gold, that's spelled XAILI. They have a project with a cluster of veins, epithermal veins, that in the past had produced 8 million ounces of gold. And yet the project has not seen a lot of exploration. And the exploration that Chali's done on this project suggests that they've got the potential to deliver a lot more great results from this project. I expect them to start drilling in the next month or 2. And I don't think it's going to take very long for them to be delivering some exceptional high-grade results from an area that has many veins. It has seen that are underexplored. It has seen past production, and I think it's a great place to be looking for more gold. So take a look at XGC. And my company, Advanced Lithium, where I'm the CEO, has recently picked up 57 square kilometer project, 100% interest in a very hot area, the Rio Sonora Valley. Not far to the south of this project is the Silvercrest's Las Chispas project. That's an exceptional high-grade project from epithermal veins. To the south of them is Ermitaño, Santa Elena area, where First Majestic is producing from their Ermitaño project, which is one of their best performing mines. It's also high-grade gold and silver from epithermal veins. And then up to where our project is in close proximity to those, there's two known veins. One is over 5 kilometers long. The other is over 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers long. The 2 kilometer one has only seen one hole. The 5 kilometer plus vein has only seen drilling on 2 setups at different angles. And it's worth noting that at Ermitaño, the zone that they're mining is only about 250 meters by 300 meters. So if you've got this big vein and you've only drilled a couple drill locations covering about 200 meters of a 5,000 plus meter vein, you have to go into that with a different approach, and we intend to do that with drilling along the vein to find the boiling zones and then drill deeper from there, and also get after the Chiltepin vein. So with a $2 million valuation, I think that we're very cheap and the potential to deliver some great results once we get drilling in the Rio Sonora Valley on our big project. Now, the home runs in progress companies that I want to talk about next, these are companies that I think are very undervalued and they're well advanced. They're not, sort of earlier stage drilling. In the case of Galantis Gold, GAL is their symbol. They are putting their project into production this month of July. So anytime now, I expect to hear that news release. And then they're drilling below that and finding a lot of high-grade gold. This is an orogenic gold system. These things go on for very deep. It's a analog is the Fosterville mine in Australia. And these guys are well on their way to finding an important gold discovery, putting it into production. And the cash flow from that will help them to keep drilling and look for swan zones on their project that made Fosterville a fabulously profitable mine. I'm very bullish on Galantis. I think it's a very undiscovered gem. The next company I want to talk about is Endurance. Endurance, EDG is their stock symbol. They're in British Columbia, in the southern part of British Columbia, about a 4-hour drive from Vancouver. They've already been hitting a lot of high grade in a orogenic gold system that they haven't even tested the depth yet. They're in a panel that follows the side of a mountain, and they haven't started to go deeper yet. But in that panel that they've drilled a lot of high grade. It's fine gold so far, but as you get deeper into these orogenic systems, you start getting the more higher grade material. And I think that's what's in their future. And at their current valuation, they could easily see 10 to 20x their current valuation if they're onto another Fosterville Swan Zone kind of thing, which I think that they are, but they're not getting a lot of credit for it yet. And I think that that's coming. They're drilling right now. They're going to be doing a lot of drilling this year. And I'm expecting a lot of good news out of Endurance. The final company today is by far not the least sort of situation is I-80 Gold. I-80 Gold is sort of the ringleader of the three companies I was talking about earlier that are making discoveries and moving them forward in the Eureka trend of the Eureka South end of the Battle Mountain Eureka trend. And they made an impressive discovery at their Ruby Deeps project that is quite exceptional, yet the stock is cheaper than when they made the discovery. Not only do they have the Ruby Deeps, the Ruby Hills area, there's plenty of targets there. In fact, the last time I talked to you and Downey, he made indications that they may be onto another high-grade zone, and then they have their Granite Creek project that's getting bigger and bigger as they go deeper. Not only bigger along strike, but higher grade at depth. And even they've got high grade higher in the system, but as they get deeper in the system, it's getting bigger and it's getting higher grade. So they got two world-class projects in Nevada. They're moving strongly towards production. I think they've got the runway for a 200,000 to 500,000 producer of low-cost gold, and the making of a multi-billion-dollar company, and yet they're trading well under $1 billion. So there you go. That's I-80 Gold. Their stock symbol is IAU. This group of companies, I think, are extremely undervalued. And as gold starts to trend up, which I think the double bottom is suggesting it's going that way, and I think these companies are well positioned. As always, do your homework, speak with your financial advisors, check out all these companies' websites, check out my YouTube channel at Rocks and Stocks News. I've interviewed all of these companies, so lots of due diligence out there in my interviews, in their websites and their corporate presentations and their news releases. On that note, have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.